Well, now that deer seasons have arrived on Delmarva, it's a good time to make sure you're aware of what to look for when you head afield. With a rare case of rabies discovered in a white-tailed deer near Rehoboth Beach this month, we thought it'd be the perfect time for a refresher on what to look for when in the white-tailed woods.
The one case of rabies is the only case of rabies that public health has ever seen in deer, so I think that's an isolated event.
Rob Hessler, Wildlife Section Administrator for DNREC, is much more concerned about other conditions, though the health of the first state deer population remains in great shape.
The biggest one is always chronic wasting disease. Delaware does not have chronic wasting disease. We sample probably more intensely than any other state that doesn't have the disease. We sampled over almost 11,000 deer since 2003. Still haven't found it. The other disease that has caused some population impacts periodically has been epizootic hemorrhagic disease, which is a disease caused by a small biting midge, kind of like a no-see-um. The biggest one happened in 2012 in the Georgetown area, but I will tell you that although the population was suppressed in that area for a while, it only took about 2 years until our harvest came right back up to what it was prior to that. What we find for Delaware, that if you have a very mild winter followed by a dry summer, kind of a drought summer, that's the year that they're susceptible to it. So we don't think the conditions were ripe for that this year, but we'll see.
And what should hunters be on the lookout for?
An emaciated deer is usually a very bad sign in Delaware. I mean, we don't have a severe winter here, and we have abundance of agricultural crops, and so a deer should not be emaciated, and that's usually the symptoms that are associated with chronic wasting disease. That's one of the common symptoms associated with EHD. Like a lot of hunters are worried about, well, I burned a tag on it. We'll give you the tag back, but you have to give us the whole deer.
So right now, Rob sees no reason for Delaware deer hunters to be concerned.
The deer herd is healthy in Delaware. We in the Mid-Atlantic, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Delaware, we're probably in one of the best spots in the country in terms of deer population. They don't have to go far for the groceries. They don't have real significant winters. And so, we rival to some extent those Midwestern states that have a slightly bigger subspecies of deer that rivals ours, but we still get some very nice deer here in Delaware.